Hi everyone, I'm Chef Raveena and today we're going to learn how to make a super easy and one of my most favorite recipes, a vegan creamy mushroom soup. I absolutely love mushrooms. They're super high in vitamin B's and so good for the body and super nourishing. So what I'm going to do for this recipe today is take some olive oil and heat it on the pan. So this is about 1 tablespoon organic olive oil going in. To this, I'm going to add some onion. So this is 1 onion that I've finely diced and I'm going to go ahead and add it in. Now I want this to completely caramelize because the more caramelized my onion is, the sweeter my soup will be. So a lot of the times I see a lot of people adding sugar to their tomato soup or adding sugar to other soups as well just to balance out the sweetness. But to be honest, if you just cook the onions longer, the sweetness comes automatically. So use the vegetables for their properties and you'll see that a lot of the other ingredients just get minused out. So I am sauteing my onion on a low to medium heat, and you want to do the same thing whether you're using induction or gas. The slower that you do this step and let the onions caramelize naturally, the more nice the soup will taste. So you can see it's become translucent. At this point, I'm still going to go ahead and stir it because I want it to be light brown in color. So you want it to reach this lovely sort of light beige color. This is when the onion has truly caramelized. You don't want to make it too dark brown because it will come to the border point of burning and we don't want that. We just want it to caramelize so that it has its nice sweet flavor. The next thing that I'm going to do is add some minced garlic in and just go ahead and saute that. After this step, I'm going to go ahead and add my mushrooms in. So I'm using about 600 grams of mushrooms for this recipe. So I'm going to do some button mushrooms and some shimeji mushrooms. Both equally have nutritional benefits. Shimeji mushrooms are now available in India. We get them across most popular grocery stores and sometimes even your farmers may have them. I highly recommend using 2 types of mushrooms, primarily because the flavor profile of the soup overall increases. And you want to make sure that you get more nutrition from different types of mushrooms, and this will really contribute to the body of the soup overall. So I'm going to go ahead and add that in. I'm going to give this a light sort of saute before I go ahead and add my vegetable stock. So again, this is all happening on a low to medium heat. At no point do you want to do a really high flame. You want the vegetables to cook down naturally and you don't want to subject them to too high a flame because it will kill a lot of the nutrition. So just be patient, be mindful and enjoy the process. The next thing that I'm going to do is add some salt and mix that in. Some dried thyme. You can also use fresh thyme if you have access to it. A pinch of black pepper. As you can see, the size of the mushrooms is becoming significantly smaller, and this is a good place to be for you to go ahead and add your vegetable stock. So you've already seen how to make this beautiful fresh stock in my previous YouTube video. If you haven't watched that already, please scroll down and have a look. And the next thing that I'm going to add is some freshly made coconut milk. And lastly, a little bit of lemon juice. This will just give it a little bit of acidity, which is what you want in your soup. You want it to be completely balanced in all flavors. Now at this stage, I'm going to bring this up to a simmer and leave it on a simmer for about 10 minutes in the pot itself. So at this stage, you can go ahead and increase the heat. Once it comes to a simmer, you can go ahead and cover it with a lid and leave it for about 10 minutes so that the mushrooms cook really well and become super soft. So my beautiful soup is coming together. It's almost there. I still have one more step to go. At this stage where all my mushrooms have cooked beautifully in this thyme mixture, I'm going to go ahead and remove 3 tablespoons of cooked mushrooms. This I'm going to use as garnish at the end on top of my soup. So make sure to do this. It's a nice bite to give to your mushroom soup. I'm going to go ahead and keep this aside and put this to blend. You can also choose to run a hand blender into the same pot. I'm going to go ahead and put this in my blender. My blender is heat proof. So if you know your blender is not heat proof, please wait for the soup to cool a little bit before you add it in. So my beautiful mushroom soup is ready. The smoke is still coming out because the soup is quite hot. It's nice, thick and creamy. If you feel your soup is not thick enough, you can go ahead and add this back to the pan and reduce it till it becomes thick. I'm quite happy with this consistency, so I'm going to go ahead and pour it into a bowl. But before I do that, I'm going to taste it for seasoning and adjust the salt accordingly. I'm going to add a little bit more salt to my soup and then it should be good to go. My soup is completely ready. I'm going to go ahead and pour it out into a bowl. Look at the lovely thickness. To this, I'm going to add the mushrooms that we reserved through the cooking process on top as garnish. I'm also going to go ahead and add some toasted walnuts. These have been in the oven for 160°C for about 15 minutes. And lastly, I'm going to do a small drizzle of truffle oil. You can choose to avoid this entirely. I just love the flavor of truffle, so I'm going to add it in. And there you have it. Creamy vegan mushroom soup. I cannot tell you how good this tastes, and it's so good for your health. Please do try it out, and especially on a night when it's extremely cold outside, you're bound to enjoy it. Thank you so much for watching the content on my YouTube channel. I hope you're enjoying the recipes and I hope you're trying them out. If you are trying them out, please do tag me on @Raveena on Instagram. I look forward to seeing your creations and what you've been up to.